quick. If everybody had my little microphones, y'all give me a moment.
Let me put these in real quick so y'all can hear me. I hope everybody's well. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Yeah, I hope everybody doing well. I intend to do a couple lives real quick, a couple live streams real quick, different topics. So I'm going to separate these real quick. But what I want to talk about on this live stream was no hexes, no bad juju, no spiritual attacks, no government attacks, no gossip, no rumors, no none of that is gonna stop what I'm doing right now. Okay? None of it. I don't feel any of it. I'm aware of it though. Gotta be aware of these things. Don't want to be naive, especially doing this work on behalf of the kingdom of the Most High. You know, in this era that we live in this time that we live in, many of us are timid and afraid to do this work because it separates us, it puts a spotlight on us. I tell y'all all the time, back in 2007, up to now, it's been 15 years of truly walking this walk and not playing with it. And along the way, I'd have been called everything in the book that one could be called to stop them from keeping moving forward in this truth. And when I say nothing of that sort, the hexes, the spiritual attacks, the bad juju, the government attacks, the rumors, the gossip, and I'm talking about myself, and not gonna stop me. I'm talking about all y'all who take up this walk with me as well, because I'm not the only one that's in this walk. Okay, it's just that I'm being used right now by the Most High to illustrate that we are living in a very peculiar and special time right now where we have to choose sides. We just have to. We have to pick the side of the fence that we've been called to pick. And as part of our free will choice, that is, there's going to be sacrifice. As we live in this world, we have aspirations, we have desires, we have things that we want to do in this world for ourselves that we feel will benefit us in the long run. And then we have this knock on the door. We have this knock. And this knock comes from the Most High. All right. And this knock is symbolic of answering a call that would then lead us into servitude, to service for the Most High. And it's not easy. Okay. It's not easy. When you start speaking the truth, immediately become an enemy to those who would want to hide the truth. You immediately become an enemy to those who run from the truth and who would rather live within a distraction and take focus out and away from the truth. Okay, and this is very important to realize because once you, hey, Brother Carlton Way, my brother King, Shabbat Shalom to you. When we realize that we are in the truth or deciding to stand on the side of the truth, we immediately make ourselves enemies to those who hate the truth. Okay? And as soon as we begin to expose the truth, as soon as we begin to highlight what it means to walk in the truth through our natural forward progress, we become a threat to those who don't like that. And when you become a threat to those who don't like that, who are walking in antithesis to the truth, you have to realize that those are the people who are walking in the shadows. Those are the people who want to deal with the shadows. Those are the people who don't want their actions to be exposed. Therefore, as they have made themselves enemies to the truth, when you decide to live in the truth, they have made themselves an enemy to you. Okay? And when people choose to make themselves enemies to you, and you are walking within the light of the truth, and you are doing those things that would benefit the kingdom of the Most High, well, you will begin to see that obviously those who don't want to benefit the kingdom of the Most High have aligned themselves with the kingdom of the wicked one. And just as we, children of the Most High, walking in that truth and light, have tools and resources and spiritual weapons to use against those who choose to walk and live in the shadows, they too feel as though and are aware that they have tools and weapons of the the wicked side, the wicked forces that they would like to implement against us. So when we think about these things, the first thing that I'm recalled to is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. Okay? Let me read that real quick. No weapon forged against you will prevail or prosper. Why? You will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High, and this is their vindication from me. Again, no weapon formed against you will prosper. You will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High. This is their vindication from me, declares the Most High. You see, one of our weapons against those who accuse us, those who would seek to spread rumors and gossip about us, those who would seek to implement so called hexes and, you know, bad juju, bad energy, those government agencies who would seek to implement certain attacks over us. All of these things will be made known to us. All of these things will be made known to us as children of the Most High, as servants of the Most High. And this is where their failure comes into place. When you are called to do a specific purpose and you are called to live a life of servitude and piousness and a life of righteousness and uprightness, yes, you will be choosing your side in a spiritual war for sure. But you must know that as long as you have a calling on your life, and as long as you are doing and living within that calling, you will always be protected on all sides, and all weapons formed against you truly shall not prosper. And the weapons formed against us can, like I said in the title of this live stream, could come in many different ways as hexes or words and spells being spoken toward us with wicked and evil intent. Okay. One of the reasons that many of these hexes, for instance, and bad juju, I chose to say bad juju because many of us who are walking this walk are of African heritage. Okay. And this is something that you have to realize. As Hebrews, as Hebrew Israelites are African people. Okay. And this is something that you have to realize. I'm not talking about the Jewish people. Okay. Remember, family, anytime you have the word ish at the end of a word, that what we call a suffix, that ish means not quite. Ish means not yet. Okay. If I say I'm going to be someplace around one ish o'clock, that means I could be early or I could be late, but it's not going to be at 1 o'clock, the actual time. Okay. If I say something is bluish, it's not quite blue. Okay. It's not quite blue. Okay. That's why that show Blackish, that show was ran by uh, the Jewish uh, overseers of Hollywood. Okay. Even the lady, Tracy Ellis Ross, I believe her father is Jewish. Okay. Diana Ross's daughter. Her mother is Israelite, but her father is Jewish. Okay, one of the boys that play the sons on that show, he is half Israelite, half Jewish. Okay, so I want y'all to really pay attention to this. And the show is called Blackish. I think one of the little girls, the same way. So they specifically chose the people to play in that family because they wanted to spread this propaganda subconsciously to us to keep us thrown off. And that's why they chose Blackish as opposed to a show like Family Matters, okay, where all of the family is clearly Israelite, right? As opposed to Blackish, where they're not quite black, they're not quite white, they're Blackish. And that's a symbol and sign to this whole Jewish thing. But what was the point that I was getting at about this? The point is that we have to realize that many of the people who will hate you the most in this walk are your own, those who appear to be your own. That's why we say, "Oh, skin folk ain't kin folk." We've heard this before, right? Well, the reason these hexes and this bad juju and those sorts of things will not work on children and saints of the Most High is because now this is the kicker. Before I say what I'm gonna say, how many of y'all was children? And remember that saying, "I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you." Who remembers that? Who remembers that? I know I remember it. And now into the hexes and all of those wicked things that could be said as far as seances, well, chants, excuse me, and different spell casting, yeah, and all of that sort of thing. The reason it won't work and it actually affects the one who is saying it is because those are all offensive attacks. Okay. Now, maybe I'll get into this eventually when we start talking about African spirituality and because Hebrew Israelitism is African spirituality, but the different branches of it. And we're talking about Vodun, Ifa, or the offshoots of Vodun, which is Benin Togo spiritual set of dealing with the elements. And the Bible even tells us that we have the power over the elements. All throughout the Bible, you see the, yeah, all right. All throughout the Bible, we see that our Israelite ancestors and ancestresses were giving the power over the elements. Okay. Now, this is why I said I might touch on this at a different time. But when you see the many curses implemented throughout the word and these many actions of the rivers parting and the seas parting and all of these different powers, water turned to wine, walking on water, all these different things. These are all powers over the element. And this is an African understand and overstand these elements in an offensive, not to defend others. Okay. And those things, whether you talk about maternal bloodline or paternal bloodlines, when those who go against us as children of the Most High, seeking to do the will of the Most High in this realm and serving the Most High openly in truth, in righteousness, and uprightness, by those of our own families, our own kinfolk, they will be using those wicked against themselves because the bloodline that we stand will match with. If I, true Jew, was on the side of wicked gentleness, there's no patience. The big mistake that many on the wicked side want to. This is why it's easy for us to be on the side of righteousness. And there are promises that when it comes to the government, the same thing. Hashatan and down by those entities who that we haven't chosen our side. Like I have it out for one another. Go spirit of the Most High. I felt like I had to get on this live and speak on it. That's just one of many videos that you know Beyonce, for instance, brings a lot of this. I don't get down like that. Is in that space And y'all, the devil will try to don't want to and have all of the information right walk. It's not. Now, when you really, you mean to tell me that even easy, but when your brother choose those single day, every day, you know it's not that being for real with this. I was in the room. Let's check this out. The people who believe the gospel, I had a very short beard. Okay, the beard was short. It wasn't nothing like this. It might have been more warfare. So they hop from hood to hood, and then claiming that hood, and then claiming that hood, and everybody be like, "Hey, bro, I thought you was from up in the one hood where it's funk." See the problems that was. Uh-uh. Nah. Ooh. I really get in trouble then. Shalom.